We bear witness to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam as his servant and his messenger, as of what follows. It's a pleasure to be here today in the city of brotherly love and sister affection. Man, I never heard that before.
Sisterly affection,
Oh,
not sister affection.
Okay.
Get it right.
Sisterly affection. All right, I stand corrected already.
I don't want all this affection from the sisters.
Okay. So, alhamdulillah, you gonna hold that?
Yes.
All right, move that my way. Inshallah, I'll hold it. All right, so alhamdulillah, we're here today. This is a great topic that the Masjid, we appreciate the organizers of this this event. Masjid, is it Claire Muhammad? Masjid Claire Muhammad? Well, we appreciate the love that we've been getting. We appreciate Imam Shadid Muhammad for allowing us to come up and recommending us to come up. And the topic, being single while being married, that what it was?
Yes, that's what it was. First, I want to say, look at y'all. Y'all got all dressed up to come out here, mashallah.
Oh, they sharp?
Yes, they are sharp. Y'all better, I'm glad I'm already married. I'm telling you, mashallah.
All right, now. We start nothing, won't be nothing. All right?
Y'all got dressed up. I've got so much love. And I have the hospitality, and the food has been wonderful. The food is very, very important for health, if you know us from our online presence. We're going to talk about being single while married in two ways. And the first way we want to, because there's a difference between what people do who have been unmarried and they're coming into a union, and then you have your people who are already married. So in a union as it is. So there are a couple of things that we can tell you that the unmarried folks that they bring to the marriage. You know, for example, I'm not telling nobody I'm married. I'm not announcing my nikah. I'm protecting myself from the eye. No, you planning a divorce.
Right. Right.
And it, just like you want to get rid of this one, you don't want anyone to know that it's your third marriage this year. And so we're going to keep that on the down low. This is not about the eye. The only eye that you need to worry about is the evil eye that you put on yourself. We do things like we keep apartments.
Right. This is true stories now. We're not making up anything to entertain you now. This is real stuff. You keep apartments. You have secret bank accounts.
And it's advisable to keep money for emergencies.
Right.
You know, my mother used to call it JIC money. Just in case.
Right.
JIC. Just in case something pop off. Yeah, but there's a difference between JIC money and being prepared for
jet money.
Yeah,
you know,
it's really
leaving.
Jet money.
So, and it's not just sisters either. You know, brothers do the same thing. They withhold their money just in case you do go, and then he can say, well, I ain't gave him too much of this, or I ain't gave him too much of that, because he still has the evacuation plan in his mind as well. So.
The other thing that they do is marry quickly. And that happens very often. Why do we marry quickly? I mean, how many of us have gone to look at a car and bought it in the same day? Have you ever gone and moved it, went and looked at an apartment and got it that day? There are things that, you know, we wait. You know, we make this the car roll. We say, well, just let me think about it, or I want to talk to an elder or get some advice about it. But I'm going to marry quickly because when I go quickly, my investment is small. And I feel like I'm taking a lower loss on it. You know, I don't want to take that L.
Right. I mean, because, and we talk about cars, and I think I did this with Imam Shadid the other night. We put more time into looking at cars that we get ready to buy. We'll go and get the VIN number off that car. And
What's your VIN number?
you like my VIN number, don't you? Check that VIN number out, did you? Okay.
He got a good engine, y'all. That's all.
For a job now. And so, we'll kick the tires, we'll open the hood, we'll check the engine, we make sure they got good oil in it or whatever the case may be. And then we're trying to talk a good price for the car. But some of our marriages are really pathetic. It's really raggedy because what we're doing, we're going to pray Maghrib in about an hour, and somebody's going to get married after Maghrib.
Yeah, we call them Maghrib marriages.
Y'all didn't hear that. Y'all didn't hear that. Somebody's going to get married somewhere in our Oman after Maghrib tonight.
And the reason is that, we'll have the witnesses, because they already had a wakil. It's his best friend. And we just need enough witnesses.
Right.
And there'll be someone at the Masjid for Maghrib.
And then they'll try to use the hadith about, if you don't get married or something along that line, that you causing fitna in the land and stuff that makes you there. You're not causing fitna in the land, you're causing fitna for each other. Because how do I know this person? You're supposed to have a suitable suitor. How do you know that this person is suitable unless you're doing your due diligence to make sure that this person is suitable? So we're going to talk about, and in that, you're setting yourself up for the evacuation plan.
That was the folks the unmarried people who come into a union. Now, that's our married folks. We have some married people in here. Let's see our married people. Oh, okay. That's a really, really good number. Married people, we withhold info. She don't need to know how much money I make. That's my paycheck. Mm-hmm. True story. The wife got a sizable inheritance from her uncle. He didn't know when the check came, the amount it was, or that a portion of it had been spent. Mm-hmm. And he was about to venture into his own business. And he was really looking forward to having his wife's support in some way. And sometimes support is a little cash. Mm-hmm. But she was like, oh, you didn't know about that. I thought I told you. Mm-hmm. Because information is power.
Right, and that's a serious thing, and I want everybody to understand that information is power. And when you withhold information, that means you are working power, or you are possessing power over someone else.
All of these things equal to what we call the single mindset. What is this single mindset? The single mindset is about being hypervigilant about yourself. Everyone should be pro-me. But with this single mindset that I have to protect me, I can't get got. Mm-hmm. It really means that we look at it as a way to protect ourselves. I'm just making sure I'm protecting my investment. No, this is really about you don't trust yourself.
Right. It's not a matter that you don't trust the other person, be it male or female. It's not that you don't trust them. You're saying, I don't trust me to be open with anybody. I'm just going to hold my cards close to my chest. And whatever comes, I'm prepared for it.
Right, because one, if you get premarital counseling, and when I say premarital counseling, I mean professional premarital counseling.
Not going to get some premarital advice. We're not talking premarital. There's a difference between premarital counseling and premarital advice.
Premarital advice, that means the nikah is already set. Matter of fact, it's 2 days away, and y'all just want somebody to sit down and talk with you and tell you the rights of husbands and wives.
Right. Kicking a bobo. We used to call down south kicking a bobo. I know y'all don't know about that bobo up here. But, you're just going to get somebody who's going to tell you, well, you need to do this, and you need to help her, and you need to be... I'm sorry. Wow. Oh, okay. You need to help. You need to be honest. You need to be trusting. We get all those you know, list words that sound good, all these adjectives that sound good but have no meaning whatsoever.
But you know, and going back to what I was saying about if you trust in yourself, if you get the premarital counseling, you will definitely trust the process. And what is that catch-all phrase that we say all the time? I'm gonna get married for the sake of Allah. If you trust Allah, because Allah got you. Allah got you like nothing else. And if you trust in Allah, even if that situation does not work out, Allah is not going to just leave you out there like that. Mm-hmm. And so, and then we think that because the marriage didn't go as I had desired. Well, maybe I didn't go into it trusting in Allah. You know, Allah has wonderful things for us that don't always go the way that we planned or the way that we would desire. But we trust in His infinite wisdom. And even in His infinite wisdom, sometimes you are going to experience some discomfort. So even if I didn't trust Hassan, I trust me. I got Naila like no one in this room. And then I have Allah, I'm straight. Now I hope he got me too. And if I got me, I'm going to pull him up with me. But if something were to happen and the brother were to leave me hanging, I really believe that I have what I need within me to be good. I might struggle. I be uncomfortable. I might miss him every now and then. But you know, I'm going to bounce back. I get my mojo back.
No, ain't no mojo. I own the mojo. You don't keep on talking reckless. All right, now, I mean, bring it back. Okay?
I'm not going anywhere, baby.
That's right. You're not. But we talk about, and we say trust in Allah, then we understand this hadith. Well, no, I don't believe we really understand it. We hear it, tie your camel, trust in Allah. But we don't tie a camel right. We don't get the correct information that we need to make this relationship work properly. We're going to get the I got me down pat. We're going to be hyper vigilant about I have me. Ain't nobody going to do me. You know how you go to shaking their head. You know. And,
I don't know how he knows anything about that.
you know, and you're going to shake your head. I got me, or whatever the case may be. But do you have the relationship? Yes, you can have you. And yes, I can have me. But in that is an evacuation plan, just in case he don't get right, you know, I can dip. Or just in case she ain't right, I can cut her loose. But why are you walking into a relationship with that type of mindset in the first place? What is wrong with us that we have thought so low of ourselves that we feel like everything has a trap door?
It's for my detriment. Oh, it's going to be bad for me.
Exactly.
Oh, you mean me no good. Oh, you have bad intentions. It's like, really?
I mean, that is to say, in my personal opinion, don't make me right or wrong, just really mean that I have one, okay? That means that Allah is not Allah. If He has established an institution where her and I can be halal for each other and be engendered together, what am I looking for an evacuation plan for?
That's a hookup.
I mean, I got the ultimate hookup. And what am I looking for? It's like, and what we're not doing is building the relationship. She's building her, I'm building me. But we're not building that relationship that stands in between us. We're not putting the necessary work in to make this relationship prosperous and to give us favor with our Lord.
You know, and when we talk about building, you know, earlier when I said that some people withhold info, and we withhold assets, we withhold money, we withhold our talents. I'm not cooking for him.
Right.
Make me sick, won't get none of my fried chicken. You know, and whenever we're talking about building, there were certain things that I have to build the house. There is so much that went into making this room as beautiful as it is. And if one or if a couple of those things were missing, we would not be able to enjoy the beauty of this room. The marriage is the same way. When you withhold information from your spouse, you reduce the majesty and the intensity and the intimacy of it, and then you become angry because you cannot build it.
Right. It's not the building is not protecting you. It's not protecting relationship. And I think about a story in the Quran where we look at Musa, and he was with his companion, and a wall was getting ready to come down, and they built the wall back up. And at some point, you know, I think we all know the story where Musa couldn't hold his patience, and he kept asking the thing, or whatever the case may be. But if we look at the reason why he built that wall back up, it was to protect a treasure or protect an inheritance that someone had left for the orphans. And so now when we look at building our relationship, what we are actually doing in building a relationship, we put a fortress together to protect the treasures that Allah has given for each one of us to be able to love one another, find happiness with one another, find happiness. And that thing is contagious. When we're happy, just like you guys sitting out there now, we make a few jokes and we make a few things. Y'all think it's endearing, you laugh, you know, you feel good about it. But that stuff is contagious, just like the negativity is contagious. So if we work on a situation where we build relationships, because we have a thing, people say it takes a village to raise a child. No, we don't subscribe to that. What we say, it takes a village to keep a marriage together. You know, because give me a village full of single mothers, I can show you a village full of deficits. You know, give me a village with a bunch of single fathers, I can show you some deficits, especially fathers with girls. You know, so when we protect the institution of marriage and not have these trap doors to get out of them or whatever the case may be, and we start building them right, then the community continues to grow. And you know, things like this beautiful Masjid keeps popping up in other places because now you have families, not single parent families, but you have families who are here and they're making this place flourish, and they're making our communities flourish. And then we can start, you talk about dawah. That is the best dawah. You live in this life and this lifestyle.
Right. And you know, when I was talking about limiting the resources, because as when we withhold information and when we withhold gifts and talents and things from the marriage, and the first thing we typically think of is money. I ain't get my money. I'm keeping my apartment so I can have somewhere to go in case this doesn't work out. But this is deception. And transparency is needed to build trust and security. Transparency is a resource in your marriage. And keeping your assets and your talents and your gifts solely for yourself, that's a single mindset. Marriage is about codependency. I very much depend on Hassan, and there are some things that are quite visible because of his loss of sight, where you can see me doing things for him. But there is so much more that he does for me. This is a very codependent relationship. There are things that he does for me without his eyes that people don't always get to see or experience. This goes both ways. And marriage requires you to share your bricks. And if I come in and I'm withholding my bricks because I need them in case I need to go, in case I need to run from you, here I am in a marriage with a single mindset. There's something that Hassan talks about. He heard a lady say, I can bring the table. You know that phrase that say, what do you
Now,
bring?
what do you bring to the table? Right. Because I asked that question quickly. What are you bringing to the table? You know, and this sister said, you know, bring it to the table. I bring a lot. Matter of fact, I can buy the table.
Well, that's why you single.
And that's why you by yourself. Like you got a table by yourself. You bought your table, so there you go.
Why would I want to sit at your table?
Why would I want to sit at your
If
table?
someone said to me, Naila, that's my table. I'm like, okay. Right. I don't want to sit at your table with this type of attitude. And we act like, you know, you don't need to know this from me. You'll tell a doctor about your family history. You'll give them your insurance information.
You give your social security number.
You will tell a bank. You will tell the car dealership. You will even divulge your personal information on a scholarship application for school. But let your husband ask you, I know he ain't asking me about my little coins. I'm not telling him nothing. But you don't have a problem telling someone else, a third party outside of your house that is not designed to get you to Jannah. And I'm going to reveal myself like that to you because I'm worried about what you'll do to me. You don't need to be worried about him. That's what you're doing to yourself.
Exactly. Exactly. Man, you high powered tonight, baby. I'm scared of you.
I say you are. But you know, hiding your paycheck or your money, it protects your money, but it doesn't protect your faith. It doesn't protect your relationship with Allah. It doesn't protect your relationship with yourself. All of these things could actually be a means to weaken it. So when we think that I'm going to keep these things because I may need to evacuate, I may need to go because I have to protect these things. But the marriage is designed to protect things that your evacuation plan will not support. Mm-hmm. The marriage is designed to protect your chastity. The marriage is designed to increase your iman.
Mm-hmm. And let me ask a question by show of hands. Naila will be able to give me an indication of what's happening here. And no judgment. When people come out, first I got to say this. When people come to us for counseling, no judgment. This is a judgment-free zone because we're here to work. We're here to build a plan so you can be better at what it is that you need to do. How many have already been in more than one marriage? Show of hands.
You say you need to raise your hand, bro.
You know, what's the room looking like? Okay, so what happens is a lot of times people feel snake bitten and moving forward. Something happened, the abuse was high, and so there are things that are naturally going to suggest to you to build an evacuation plan. This is not going to happen to me again. He is not going to do me this way again. She is not going to, the next sister, she is not going to do this again, or whatever the case may be. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. This is when we go back to the single mindset and the unmarried mindset. Here's something that you probably need to think about. Something happened, by Allah, something happened. But the next time, because I'm sure everybody wants companionship. Everybody needs companionship. As a man, I tell people all the time, I was created needy. You know, if we look at the understanding of Adam and his creation and the creation of his wife, one of the things that was asked of her from him was, who was she? And she told him who she was and why were you created? To provide you comfort. So I already know naturally, just by Adam, my father, in this situation, that as a man, I'm needy. So I'm not going to be without a woman, but, or a companion, my companion, because I just don't want to say a woman. I'm saying my companion. But in that, I have to go through some processes to select properly. That's not going to mean that we're going to always see eye to eye, because we don't, you know, but we got to continue to work. Because for me, I'll be honest with you, I tell my wife here, look, blood in, blood out.
Like I'm in a game or something.
Well, you know, it's my game. You know what I mean? And so, you know, this is blood in, blood out. I don't do divorce well. I don't set my life up for divorce. I don't put my heart and my investment into this just so it can be tore down and tore away. And I'm gonna be honest, as a man, I don't want another man having my woman.
Cause once you his, you always his. Keep
it real. I mean, I don't want to see her on the arm of somebody else and somebody saying, yeah, you know, we got nine. I'm gonna tell you, it might be true, it may not be true. I feel like I built this up. You know, I feel this way, you know, and I don't want to see nobody, you know,
enjoy the fruits of his
my
labor.
Okay, you know, I'm gonna keep that real. So I don't have an evacuation plan. I come in this thing, you know, hell or hot water, you know, laughter or crying.
To the extent that yes, we have disagreements. When I say to him, Hassan, I've had my fill. I'm a country girl, so if it's from the South, you know what that means. That means I'm done. My cup runneth over. I'm done. So when I tell Hassan, I've had my fill. What you mean you done? What that mean? What that mean? What that mean? What does that mean? No one's going anywhere.
No one's going anywhere. And we have to work that thing out. There is no evacuation plan here. And I come into this whole thing, and she said, and we met face to face with that when we first started going through this process of getting married some years ago. And we asked each other that question. Do you believe it's necessary to have an evacuation plan when, you know, if something's going wrong? I said, no. What I want to evacuate something and I'm in it. I'm in this thing, you know, head deep. Why do I want to get out of it?
Because the evacuation means that I have to leave to survive. This is how I survive. This right here is what I need and desire every day to create and have the life of a Muslima. Why would I evacuate that?
No. So, you know, I don't know what my time is, but
You're good.
Okay. So I just want everybody to understand, for those who are married, now, what is it that you need to do to get rid of your evacuation plan? And I don't want everybody to, this is a rhetorical question, because I don't want sisters or brothers to say, yeah, I'm thinking I got an evacuation plan, then your husband or your wife look over at you saying, you know, oh, you were thinking about leaving me? You know what I mean? So, but I want you to put in mind now to think about, have you devised an evacuation plan?
Right down to, I'm just waiting for the kids to get grown. I'm just waiting for the youngest one to graduate, and then I leave. True story. I'm just waiting for my daughter to turn 10 years old, because I read somewhere that her personality will be formed by then, and so if she got her brain cells right, once she turns 10, I'm leaving. And he did.
And he did. And he did.
Those are all evacuation plans.
So I want you to think about this. Have you devised an evacuation plan? And why did you do it?
What? He get another wife from her home. That's an evacuation plan.
Oh, that's a serious evacuation plan. You know, but now, what does that do to the fabric of, because you think about, well, I got to protect me. But and I think one of the sisters said it earlier today, I think it was Sister Aisha or Sister Zara, one of them was saying about thinking about the rights of the woman. Don't keep putting emphasis on your rights as it is the emphasis on knowing the rights of the other person. And that person, the right of that other person is to have you fully. That is a right that that person has. If you married to this man, he has a right, she has a right to have him fully. And if you marry this woman, you have a right to have her fully. So if I'm thinking of a way of getting out of this situation and what you call it, calling it to existence type of thing, you are actually setting yourself up to be divorced or to have a bad marriage. Because for one, you haven't put all of you into the marriage.
Okay. So to go into, because we're wrapping up, the first thing for when Hassan was talking about how to rid yourself of your evacuation plan. The first thing, of course, is trust yourself, trust Allah, trust yourself. Trust that regardless of what happens within this union, that you are going to recover and that you actually do have everything that you personally need to be successful. Number two, get rid of those expectations. Rid yourself that you have of the expectations that you have of marriage. Like Hassan just said, especially earlier, the negative ones. Mm-hmm. Everyone isn't raggedy or untrustworthy. And if you continue to draw and attract raggedy and untrustworthy people, you need to check yourself. For what reason are you a magnet for these
raggedy type of people? What's up with you? You know, I mean, if every time you turn around you get a dude that's dogging you out, we'll talk, sister, what's wrong with you? Brother, if you get a sister that every time you turn around you got to find yourself trying to save them, you know, you saving a sister, or you do, what's wrong with you that this is what you pick? You know, and so after she gets to where she is, now you want to go and try to find somebody else to save. What's wrong with you? You know?
In regard to expectations, everyone won't be like your family or your relatives. Go into it, we always call it being open-minded. Get rid of whatever it is that you were expecting. I thought you were this. I thought you were this. No, you don't know who they are. You really don't. So get rid of what you believe your expectations might be. The last one, trust in Allah for real though. You know, even if it doesn't work out, you can't shield yourself from Allah's decree. You cannot hide your paycheck, hide a bank account, you know, hide kids. Some people hide children. Some people hide children. You cannot hide all these things because, you know, if she find out about my other three over here, she won't stay with me. Nothing is going to hide you from Allah's decree. So trust in Allah and trust that Allah has good for you. Allah says, I am, what is it you say all the time? I am.
As a believer, believe me to be.
Yes. So trust in Allah and know that He will be exactly as you believe Him to be.
If you think you're raggedy of Allah, understand Allah's going to give you what you're looking for. If you expect raggedy, you're going to get raggedy. And you're going to continue to be in and out of relationships, finding trap doors, back doors, and everything else, because this is what you don't believe that Allah would just have this front door for you and nothing else. You ain't have to worry about no back doors, no windows, or no nothing else. You know that He's going to get. And we do another exercise about the storehouse, creating your love story. And we talk about, and we look at Yusuf alayhi salam and how he was put over the storehouse. And we understand a storehouse does two things: protect and preserve. You know, and He's going to protect. Your storehouse is built to protect. It doesn't have its temperature control. It has temperature control. You know, it has a door with a lock to it, and it has its management systems. And if you are not trying to protect your storehouse, what's in your storehouse? Your love, your joy,
your affection, your commitment to
your ambition, your aspirations, your inspiration,
your friendship.
But
we think that the storehouse needs to include all that information that I didn't tell you about. So that when I get ready to leave, I can just have somebody to literally drive me over there to the storehouse and load up my stuff. You can't do a marriage this way. That's a single mindset with an evacuation plan in a union.
So if there's any questions that might be had, please let us have them, and we'll be here for a little longer tonight, just in case we're not able to get to all of them, inshallah.
Jazakallahu khairan, Brother Hassan and Sister Naila. Inshallah ta'ala, we're going to prepare for Salatul Maghrib now. And then after we pray Salatul Maghrib,